Hello everyone, Justin here, and today we are going to draw the back based on the muscles that we drew at the last video. If you haven't seen that, just check out the description below for the link. So here we are with the head, and we're going down to the neck, and now we're going into the muscles up here, which is the trapezius. So we're just going to indicate that with a slight curve here. So then we go into the deltoid out here. So we'll just lightly draw that for now. And again, let's go ahead and just draw the center line. And because we have a tapered rectangle for the back, let's just draw that in as well. We've got our deltoid muscle here, and it wraps around the back just like in the muscle video. So now let's go ahead and start shading this. So we have the outer part of the Latissimus dorsi right here coming out, and then there'll be a slight bulge right here from the external oblique right here. Okay, so here's that upside down triangle. So this area here will actually be the small of the back. So I'm going to go ahead and start shading this area. Just to indicate it's a little bit, it's going in as the spine goes into the paper. And then out here are our iliac spines that we talked about. So I'm going to continue shading around that. Like so. And because the Latissimus dorsi goes this way, I'll go ahead and indicate the shadow line coming out in this direction, and put in some shadow here on the side to show that it's wrapping around. So underneath this deltoid, then you've got some shadow areas because this is a big mass. So I'm just going to go ahead and indicate that with some shadow right here. And the teres major muscle is right here. Remember, the upper part of the Latissimus dorsi is right here. So oftentimes you'll be able to see this teres major muscle. So I'm just going to kind of indicate that a little bit here. Same with here. And then you have this triangular, sort of triangular mass right here called the infraspinatus. So I'm just going to add some shadow to separate the infraspinatus from the teres major. The teres minor hides underneath here. You're not going to see that, and you wouldn't indicate that. So then you've got the scapula bone actually here. So I'm just going to kind of show that here's the spine of the scapula. Same here. And add a little bit of shadow right here towards the spine. And I'm going to keep this area somewhat lighter, just because of that's where the bone is, and that's where it would stick out. And add a little bit more shadow towards the midline, which is the middle here. And I'm just going to keep going over it when I want the areas to be a little bit darker. So this area here, I'm going to make it a little bit darker on this side of the muscle group here. Okay, so this whole area can really be more or less one tone. And I'll just go ahead and try to keep my pencil marks in running this direction, although you don't have to do it this way. And add some shadows here on the side just to give it more form. So this is a big muscle, usually not a lot of bumps and undulations until it comes up to here. So I'll just indicate some shading here. Okay, so the biggest anatomical landmarks to pay attention to, I would say, would be this muscle here, the infraspinatus, right here. And in a lot of people, it will barely be visible. And of course, the deltoid, which is this big muscle here that really delineates the shoulder. So we'll go ahead and shade this to show that it's got some form and some mass. A little bit darker here on the side, and then here as it inserts, meaning it attaches to the arm bone, the humerus. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and indicate the upper arm here. Here's the outer part of the arm, and then the inner part of the arm, and just add some shadow here to show that it's behind this Latissimus dorsi, like so. Okay, again I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of shadow here for the deltoid, trying to follow the contour and shade a little bit. Down here on the right side to show that it's got some shape. And I'll kind of indicate the tricep muscle here briefly, roughly. Same here. And some roundness to the arm. Okay, so then just like the Latissimus dorsi, the trapezius muscles, which are up here, is a big muscle and it just extends this way. So just kind of give it a medium tone. And maybe add a little bit of shadow here to show where the scapula is. And then of course some shadow here on the side of the neck to give it more shape and form. And I'll just roughly shade in the head just so it doesn't look flat. Okay, you can refine this as needed. For most people, you're not really going to see a lot of these muscular shapes. And I'll go ahead and draw this part right here is called the Sacral Triangle, and then you've got the buttock here. Okay, so generally you're gonna indicate this Latissimus dorsi with just the V shape. This part right here is the small of the back, will tend to be a little bit darker in a lot of poses, so I'll just make that a little bit darker. And then the top of the buttocks then will catch some light, so you would tend to try to keep that a little bit lighter. Same with the tops of the deltoid and the trapezius. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Just a rough indication, a rough sketch of a person's back, especially if they're muscular, and you'll be able to discern some of the bigger muscle groups. Thanks for watching, and I hope you got something out of this. Have a great day.